What is everybody? I'm just Wayne, and I had a chance to go to night one of the Grand National Tour with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Now, let me just say, right off the bat, incredible show. And I think doing it in Minneapolis on night one is genius for several reasons. One of which being obviously it's Prince, right? It's Prince's hometown. There's that whole thematic. Two, coming to a stadium, the Minnesota Vikings stadium, being able to have that experience. It was a sold out show here in the Twin Cities. It's crazy. But third, early in any tour, you got to work out the bugs. You got to figure out stuff to do. And so not doing it in kind of one of the major markets like in Atlanta or New York or LA, that gives you a chance to really smooth things out. But it was still an incredible show. Like watching them try to figure it out as a person who thinks that way. And so incredible show, sold out, and I'm gonna do so many videos about it, in part because there are so many layers. Like there are specific sets of visuals that were communicating specific things. And so this is just the first of my reaction videos. And the first thing I wanna talk about is the visual of the deposition that was a thematic that was carried throughout the show. It was almost as if Kendrick was saying, I heard y'all, I hear what y'all been saying. And not only Aubrey, but Aubrey's Angels. And I'm seeing how Aubrey's trying to litigate this in court and how Aubrey's Angels trying to litigate this in comment sections. And so since y'all want to say something, let me show up to the deposition and let me respond to you all in my own very Kendrick Lamar way. And there are 4 depositions that happened during the course of this show. And I want to talk about them and what I believe that they mean. And so without further ado, let's go. There is nothing that I wouldn't do. Your attention, please. Can I have your attention, please? Everybody just look at me. Everybody just look at me. This show had 52 songs between Kendrick and SZA. That's crazy. Both artists really flexed their catalogs. I think it's hilarious. Even before we get into the depositions, one of the things that I heard a ton, people are in my comment sections being like, Kendrick don't really have no hits like that. He just got this one Drake song, and that's... There are so many songs that he covered, from Good Kid, Mad City to Pepper Butterfly to Damn to Mr. Morale, and then obviously the Grand National Tour, so he's doing songs from GNX, and he's covering these songs and people in the room are rapping with him. It was incredible to watch folks rap along to Backseat Freestyle or rap along to Swimming Pools or Money Trees, right? Like to rap along to that, as well as TV Off or Dodger Blue, even Gloria at the end. I was walking out of the stadium at the end of the show, and there was a person who was standing next to me. She was talking to her friend, and she was like, there was just one part of Gloria that I wish she would have done because it's like my favorite part of the song. And I was like, we have fans in the building. Everybody be like, nobody listens to him. That stadium being filled tells you that this is real life. And I think that's one of the biggest things that Aubrey's Angels seem not to understand, is that Kendrick actually does have fans. We've been here the whole time. Plus, the last year, the biggest rap moment of the decade happened, and more people were introduced to Kendrick, because that's the way music works. That's the way entertainment works. Is you get introduced to something. That's like being like, oh my gosh, everybody likes Hamilton. Yeah, it got introduced to a bunch of people and all of a sudden it took off. That's the way the world works. But because you're so interested in like defending your boy that you actually stop thinking critically. And so Kendrick, over the course of this, finds himself in a deposition in which he is being asked questions that y'all clearly want answers to. And he's decided that he's going to answer them, not necessarily with him answering the questions, but by flexing his discography. And so the whole show starts out with Whacked Out Murals. I had been saying all day, like, yo, I wonder what he's going to start with. I wonder what he's going to start with. I should have known it would have been Whacked Out Murals. Obviously, this is the first song on the Grand National Tour album. So the first song on the GNX album, I'm sorry. And so it would be the first song on the Grand National Tour. And then right away after that song, he finds himself in the visual of a deposition. Check out this clip of one portion of the deposition.
Same song. Can you do 2 things at the same time? Right?
No, we're not here for that. We're here to take a deposition, and that requires you to not be on your phone.
Go ahead.
You said you wanted the party to die. Was that a metaphor? Or were you being serious?
I said it's a good song.
No, I understand you think it's a good song, but it's not answering my question. Were you being metaphorical, or should it be taken as a threat?
Whatever you want to take it.
the record reflect, I'll take it as a threat.
Okay, what you want to do then?
Coming right out of that deposition, he goes immediately into squabble up. And I love that he's like, okay, you are asking me about Let the Party Die. Some of y'all been like, I thought he wanted to let the party die. Now why is he doing music with Cardi? Why is it's okay for him to do music with Future? Oh, he's a hypocrite. And it's like, and he goes, I thought it was a good song. Well, it's supposed to be a metaphor or is it a threat? How do you want to take it? I'm taking it as a threat. What you want to do then? So it's like this, like, all right, cool, talk. But then what? What are we going to do? We're going to squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, squabble up, right? And then it goes out of that into, I got a bone to pick, right? Goes into King Kunta, right? Which is another aggressive song about how I don't want your monkey mouth mother sitting on my throne again, right? But a rapper with a ghostwriter, what the happened? Oh no, thought I wouldn't tell, right? So like another aggressive song of like, oh, you got something to say. Like obviously when I'm trying to make this music, I'm trying to communicate something, but bro, it's songs. Like these are songs, and that goes all across the board here. Like these are songs, but if you want to take it a particular way and you want to do something, we can squabble up. I'll get on my King Kunta, and then I'm gonna get on my element. I'm willing to die for this shit, right? Like I'm willing to like go out and act like he's in it, right? And so like this entire section is like you all are saying that I have to be something according to how you're interpreting the music, right? Which we're all trying to interpret the music, but some of you all are interpreting it from an intentionally dense space. And it's like, if you want to interpret it as a threat, squabble up. Because I will show up in being King Kunta, and you won't take me out my element, right? And then goes into TV off, right? Goes into the first part of TV off. And so like this entire section is aggressive, in response to being like, if you're saying it's a threat, if you're saying, right, if you're saying you want to run a fade, let's go. I'm just saying it's a good song, but if that's how you want to take it. And I think that's something that is so interesting, even going back to the beef itself, where he's like, you mean this ain't got to get personal. It's a friendly fade. We should keep it this way, right? Like, he's like, let's have fun. Let's do this music thing. But if you want to take it different than music, if you take it there, and he ends up saying, and we're going to get to this in a bit, but he ends up saying in Euphoria, right? Like you took it there, I took it further. He changes the lyric. Instead of if you take it there, I'm taking it further. You took it there, I took it further, right? Like, it's like, this is what's already happening, but it's not because I'm trying to be threatening, but if you're going to take it that way. And so I think right away, the first deposition is this first question around like, is this not hypocrisy? He says he wants to let the party die. And he's like, I'm saying that it's music. I'm saying that I think it's a good song. I'm saying that there are things that I connect with. Because what's funny is he says in Let the Party Die, if you listen to it, he says, I wonder what Lecrae would do. I wonder what D1 would do. He's saying, I want to be like them, but that is not who I am. If you go to 616 in LA, he's like, God, my confession is yours, but who am I if I don't go to war? Which he ends up dealing with that in Reincarnated as well, of God being like, you love war. And it's like, no, I don't. He's like, yes, you do. And so like, he's like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm just chilling. But if you're going to push me there, we can go. So deposition number one is really dealing with the disingenuous nature of approaching the music and recognizing that I will pop off if you pop off, but we ain't got to go there if you don't want to go there. We could just make it metaphors and music, which leads into a SZA set. And when we come back into another Kendrick set, which actually starts with another visual, I'm going to talk about other sets of visuals in other videos, like I said. So I'll deal with the visual continuation of the Luther video, because I think that's fascinating, is that you get the same character in a love interest for Kendrick from the Luther video. But that will come in another video. Be on the lookout for it. So we get into the second deposition. And the second deposition goes like this.
You just accidentally, I'm saying though, you just accidentally, I disappeared. But then in the next question, you say I'm addicted to attention. That's funny. You can't think of your own answer from that?
Don't you think disappearing is sort of a form of attention seeking?
Nah, man. Wow, man.
Nobody pray for me. If they're not there for me.
This second deposition was hilarious to me because there's this both andness about the way that people talk about Kendrick, right? Whether it was the way that J. Cole talked about him in 7 Minute Drill, where he was like, 5 heartbeats in, 12 years. I could do the math. I could divide, right? Like the idea of, oh, Kendrick ain't gonna give y'all no music. Kendrick fans finna be starving. I ain't gonna get no new music, which is so funny to me. It's so funny to me because Kendrick has put out more top 10 hits in the last year than the supposed hit maker that we depend on, right? And so the idea of like, oh, Kendrick just be disappearing and all these years. And if you listen to Mr. Morale, he explains to you why he went away for the time that he went away. And names that he just had writer's block, he couldn't write, he was going through something, all of those things. And he's like, so y'all saying I just disappear. But on the other side, you're saying I'm attention seeking. And this goes to all y'all being like, oh, bro, he's dragging it. I'm going to deal with the concept of dragging it at the end of this video. But this duality, you want to have it both ways, and you can't have it both ways. He's either a disappearing act or an attention seeker. One of the two. And the attorney in the deposition says, well, don't you think disappearing is a way of seeking attention? And he's like, which leads us right into humble, right? And this idea of like, listen, you're not, like, what are we talking about? You all are trying so hard to make me who you want me to be. But like, if that's the case, be humble, sit down. Like, I know who I am. I know where I am. I know where I am. Matter of fact, I'm going to take you all the way back to Backseat Freestyle after Humble, right? And then I'm going to change the verse on Family Ties because that was like, oh, I was away, but we made Family Ties too. So like, there's this sense that you get here where he's like, y'all can't have it both ways. Because here's this idea of saying, I'm seeking attention, but really it's you that needs to be humble and sit down. Which, if you know the damn album, you know that he's also talking to himself on that song. So it's a funny play of like, I have to tell myself to be humble and sit down. I'm also telling you to be humble and sit down. And he runs through Backseat Freestyle, Family Ties, Swimming Pools, which is one of my favorite moments in the show itself. Well, really, my two favorite moments happened during this section, where he does Swimming Pools a cappella and the whole room lit up. Like, he's just standing on stage with a spotlight, and then people started turning their flashlights on their phone, and the whole stadium lit up with flashlights spontaneously. And then he starts rapping Swimming Pools a cappella, and then he does Mad City over Sweet Love by Anita Baker, which was insane. And Anita Baker obviously being thematic that gets pulled through the entire show. And we'll talk about the car motif, the Anita Baker, the tape deck motif on another video. I promise I'm gonna come back to y'all, so just stay tuned to this channel and I'm gonna get you all these breakdowns. And so he's responding to y'all and being like, y'all are silly and stupid if you think that I'm somehow attention seeking, but I'm also disappearing all the time. Like, no, bro, shut up and let me do what I do. Which, the idea of like, sit down, shut up and let me do what I do is then into the third deposition, which I think is hilarious because you get into the spot where he's trolling. He's like, y'all hungry? I'm gonna get y'all some fried chicken and watermelon, some good rap fried chicken and watermelon. Check out this clip.
I know, I'm saying we're gonna be here all day, right? You want something to eat? What you want? I'm ordering some chicken, some watermelon too. Some good rap music, chicken and watermelon. Louisiana, chicken and watermelon.
No, Mr. Lamar, I do not want chicken.
No, I'm gonna order you some.
I'm
gonna order it.
Thank you.
What do you want? You want the riverboat special? That can feed everybody in here. It's riverboat special. That's like
Mr. Lamar.
8 wings, 2 legs, 3 thighs, and 4 breasts. You like breasts?
Mr. Lamar, this is your deposition we're taking, not mine.
You a breast man or ass man? Peekaboo.
So it's particularly funny to me because what he's doing is he's really trolling these folks and being like, oh yeah, good rap chicken, fried chicken and watermelon. Like this idea of the blackness associated, the stereotypical blackness associated with rap, and just sitting in that space. Because let's be very clear, the idea of suing over a rap beef is anti-rap. it has tremendous implications on the rap community that will disproportionately impact the black community. Because if someone can sue over rap lyrics in a genre that acts as journalists to talk about the conditions that people are in the black community because of systemic racism, then they will be counted as criminals, as we saw it in the Young Thug trial, right? The YSL trial. Like, they can be counted as criminals based on their lyrics. This is setting a very, very nasty precedent for this Negro genre of music. And so Drake has violated the sanctity of rap by pursuing this egregious lawsuit, but just because he lost a rap battle and he's turning around and trying to sue, and he's violating this and in part harming the black community. And so Kendrick, even being in this space, he's like, yeah, I already know how you all see me. I already know what it is. And so he goes into what I think is a hilariously ignorant section of his set, right? Goes into peekaboo. And he literally says to the crowd, I don't know if y'all have enough fun yet, so let's turn it up. And he goes into like that. And then I'm going to do an entire video on DNA, because he's showing clips of his family, like home video, in the DNA section of the concert. Good credit with him and Playboy Cardi. And so, like, he's like, there's an intentionality through these different sets of being like, what is blackness and how does it play out, and how are we treating black artists in particular, right? Why are we even in this space? You see me as fried chicken and watermelon, right? That's deposition 3. Deposition 2 is like, which one is it? Am I attention seeking or am I a disappearing act? In deposition 1, like, can I just make good music, or does it always have to mean something? And if it means something, then let's go. Like, he's laying out, in my opinion, a response to some of the things that I've seen online, which leads us to deposition number 4, which goes like this.
February 9th,
I don't keep
2025
up with dates.
of this year.
Dog. Bro, I don't keep up with dates, man. I don't know, man. I'm in the air.
Okay, does this ring a bell? Drop, 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 drop.
Personally, I was cracking up when he was asked where he was on May 4th and February 9th. Obviously, May 4th is a day that Not Like Us dropped, and February 9th was the day of the Super Bowl. And he's like, I don't really know too much about dates. And then to be like, maybe you can recall this. Drop, 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 drop. Which I think, once again, I've personally made fun of Drake so many times for begging for this behind whooping. Like, he begged for the behind whooping, and now he's suing because he got his behind whooped. Right. And so to point those dates out in particular, because that is what the lawsuit is about. The lawsuit is about this song, which it has been pointed out several times that Not Like Us is not the most egregious. Literally on Meet the Grams, he told that man's son that your dad is a deadbeat. He's an awful person. He will never teach you how to be a good person, and I can teach you. And if you don't understand the song, play it when you're 18. He told his mom, I think your son should die. He told his dad, like, you are the worst father. Like, he said, this man's got gambling addictions. He's got predators on payroll. Like, Meet the Grams is the diabolical one, and Not Like Us is the one that gets a lawsuit. But I digress. And so and then he goes into Not Like Us. I personally thought that we wouldn't get Not Like Us until like maybe like an encore. I thought we would get through the entire show. They would end with, I figured they would end with either Luther or Gloria. And then, the lights would go down, and then we'd be all cheering, and then it'd be like, I see dead people. Da, da, da. Like, I figured that's how that would go down. And he's like, no, I'm gonna come right at it. And I think that this is hilarious. Because it works perfectly thematically. It's like the song itself has been the subject of so much vitriol in this lawsuit, which I think speaks to this idea of dragging it, right? Like, is performing Not Like Us on your tour dragging it? And no, I think it's not, for several reasons. Number one of which being neither Drake nor Kendrick is over this. Neither of them is past this beef. They might be past the battle they had, but they are not past the beef. The feud exists. It's not over in part because there's an ongoing lawsuit around it. And while Kendrick might not be the person who sued, we all know what's happening here. And so the feud has been in existence for a long time. And just before any of Aubrey's angels hop into any comment section and say, he's dragging this, why is he still... Your boy got on stage in Australia with a sweatshirt that had bullet holes in it, and every time he walked, it smoked. He got on Aiden Ross's stream just the other day and was like, yeah, even my mom said, F the ops crody, right? Like, and he's sued. Like, it's not over. And you want it to be over in a year? That's part one, because the reality is feuds last for a long time. How do we know this? Chris Rock's brother is still talking about how he wants to fight Will Smith, right? Every time that Will Smith communicates with anybody, he just did an album rollout, and every interview he did, he basically had to re-apologize for the Grammy incident of 2022. 2022, 3 years ago. So the idea of like, it's been a year, like, why is he still doing the song? So first of all, neither one of these guys has gotten past the feud, nor do I expect them to get past the feud anytime soon, because they're both still talking about it and still living in it because it's still alive and active. Number two, Not Like Us has been the #1 song in the country on 4 different occasions. If you have a song that went #1 4 times in the last calendar year and you didn't perform it, that would be stupid. We would feel robbed as your fans. We came to see you perform. That song is hot. Do the song. That's like if you go see Genuine and he don't do Pony, right? That's the song. And as Tank always says, do the pony dance, right? Like, it has been the #1 song in the country on multiple occasions. You do the song. Like, to not do the song would be silly. And the only people that it would appease are the folks who don't like you. And what he is saying through each one of these is, I heard y'all and I don't really care. Like, y'all are saying that I'm too metaphorical, but now all of a sudden I'm too literal. Y'all are saying that I'm a disappearing artist, but now I'm seeking attention. Y'all are saying that I'm the black savior, but now I'm supposed to be ignorant. And now you're saying that the song that I made deserves me to know where I am on May 4th or February 9th? Like, I'm going to do this in your face. I do not care. Get mad. Go in the comment section and talk mess. And if there's anything that I need to learn from Kendrick Lamar, is when you put your life out there, you have to be so confident in what you are and who you are that when people talk mess, you're just like, okay. Oh, you want to drop Family Matters? Here's Meet the Grams. Like, fabricating stories on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale. If you listen to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, that is extreme vulnerability. And all Drake did was bastardize the stories that happened on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. And you have to be comfortable enough in your healing, your growth, your transformation, and your story to look people in the face and be like, okay. As a matter of fact, not even smile, just be like, this is Kendrick all the time. This is how y'all feel? Okay. Roman number 7, baby, dropping like it's hot. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I need to learn from him. Because this particular section is very much like, okay, I heard y'all. And guess what? I do not care. I'm going to go in every stadium in this country. I'm going to sell them out. And I'm going to have an entire stadium of people calling you. So don't be surprised if this tour gets added to the lawsuit. Don't be surprised. Because as soon as we heard, I see dead people, whole stadium went up. Whole stadium went up. So I would not be surprised if it gets added to the lawsuit. This is not going away anytime soon. So why do you expect Kendrick to be the one to be like, okay, yeah, I beat him in the rap battle, so I'll never do that song again. Y'all don't have that type of energy for anyone else. And Kendrick knows you don't have that type of energy for anyone else, which is why he's trolling you to your face and being like, I'm being deposed by y'all idiots. And I'm going to laugh in your face. I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to say, hey, y'all want some chicken? How about some watermelon? Oh, which one is it? It's so beautifully done. It's such a cool thematic. In other thematics, there are color schemes that get played out. SZA has a whole metamorphosis transformation thematic that she does throughout her set. Like, there's so many things happening, and this is just one of them. And I'm so excited that I got a chance to go on night one. I'm excited that I got to experience it. And I promise you, I was like watching and I was like, yo, that just happened. Hey, did you see that? Oh my God. Like, I'm doing that while at the same time, like, rapping my face off during the show. Like, that to me is an incredible experience. When you're sitting there, like, getting all these visuals and things happening while at the same time getting this incredible music, that's a great show. And so thank you, Kendrick. Thank you, SZA, for putting on an incredible show in Minneapolis. I'm so glad I got to be there night one. I'm so glad that I get to be the person that y'all come to hear about these things. We got so many more videos coming about this. We're going to talk about SZA's visuals and her set list. We're going to talk about another thematic that Kendrick pulls throughout the set list. We're going to talk about the anniversary of the beef coming up because we're coming up on those days. And so thank y'all so much for coming to my TED Talk. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.